The 2007 Toyota Avensis T3X 2.2 diesel. What an amazing car to have, especially if you're on a budget, if you need to get around quickly, economically, and you don't want to pay much for parts. What a car to have. Look at the size of the boot, for example. It is over 4 feet wide. And of course it has split 60-40 folding seats. If you have to put the seats down, you can get even more in. It has a huge capacity in this car. It is actually the size of a small van to be able to carry loads, for example, to the refuse tip, or to carry prams. You can even get 2 washing machines in it. Believe me, when you fold the seats down, you're talking about 2.7 meters, if I can remember correctly. But the interior, easy to clean, very long lasting, and has all the finishes that you would expect from a very high class car. All the windows on this, for example, are automatic. It has cubby holes everywhere for storage, a 12-volt output at the back, plenty of leg room, and it's just a comfortable car to go on long journeys, or even city driving is absolutely perfect. Inside it's very well equipped. Headrests, armrest, proper anchor seats, airbags all round. And as we look further just a little bit into the car, you can see that it's got chrome handles, leather parts to it as well. A 6-speed gearbox, which is absolutely fantastic for a 2007 vehicle. 2007, 13-14 years ago now. Another space to put documents and so on in as well, right above the centre console, where there is, if you notice there, a cup holder for the driver, a good stereo, and more spaces to put coins in, coin holder. And in the centre console there is actually 2 compartments, which can, one above, one below, folds back to hold other documents perhaps and bits and pieces in. This particular car does not have a sunroof, but both courtesy mirrors have got lights in them, and as I say, it has got safety restraint system airbags, passenger, driver at the sides as well. I highly recommend this car for somebody who needs an economical runabout, because the engine, for example, in these models, the 2 litre and the 2.2 both have timing chains in them, and as long as you change the oil every 7,000 or 8,000 miles, you keep an eye on the auxiliary belt, you will find that this car will go on for a very long time. This particular car has got 250,000 miles on it, and it has got disc brakes all round, anti-lock braking system. Of course, this is the top of the range model when it was built. Alloy wheels with locking nuts, and a metallic exterior, which once washed up and polished really does shine and look brilliant. 4 electric windows at the side, driver's side door, as well as the petrol release, which is on the driver's side door. That is the PSI pressure values for the tyres, electric mirrors, air conditioning, cruise control are many of the things that you'll find on this vehicle that you will not find on a vehicle of this year on other marques. Volume controls on the steering wheel a mode button to have a look at, see what your mileage and so on is. There's the display, you can reset your clock and everything from there, and the air conditioning. This is an amazing car. I've seen these cars go for 500 or 600 to £1,500, depending on the condition of them. Many people are looking for small engines nowadays, but if you have economy and reliability, are you really saving money by buying a small, say, Ford Focus and having to spend money on starter motors, etc.? When we first bought this car, it did have a slight niggle as it was starting up with a bit of difficulty. But after 2 flushes of a diesel cleaner, it has stopped doing that, and now we're running it on Shell VMAX diesel, and it starts perfectly every time, even in the winter. That is the boot release and also the OBD control just right there. To the right of the steering wheel is where you go. Also a fuse box, I think it's in there, just on the right hand side. That's just showing you that this car had lights on the indicator lights on the mirrors, fog lights, chrome trim, and of course this is where your windscreen wash goes, if you didn't know. Water and detergent, basically. That is the brake fluid. Oil goes in there. It does burn a little bit of oil, letting you know that, because it's a 2.2 model. Apparently the 2-litre diesel does not do that as much at all. The battery terminals are covered under this section here in case you have to use them. Fuse box is right here as well on the right hand side of the engine bay. Yes, even the headlights still look good after something like 13 years of driving, 250,000 miles of driving. The car is in good condition. It's not rusting. The only things that we've had to do to it is an auxiliary belt and a starter motor at one point because of the starting issue I mentioned earlier. 3 meters from the front dashboard to the back. You can carry a 3 meter length in this vehicle. It is So the question is, how does this 2007 Toyota Avensis drive? Well, you know, for a 2007 vehicle, which is now over 13 years old, this is a fantastic car. Why? Well, it's got a 2.2 diesel turbo engine, which has got plenty of power. It's got all-round independent suspension, which makes it very good on the roads and the bends and the motorway. You do not feel unsafe at all. And it has got practically every modern appliance that most modern cars have. I mean, it's the top of the range. So it's got cruise control. Of course, it's got power steering. It's got steering controls for your display, for your radio. It's got air conditioning. And it's even got dual air conditioning for a 2007 car. It's got a ton of room inside, as I showed you before. It's 3 meters from the windscreen to the back window. Means that you can carry long planks inside if you have to. The boot space, when you put the seats down, is phenomenal. I mean, if you put the seats down properly by removing the headrests, you have so much space It's like a small van. And if you're doing housework and taking things to the refuse tip, the recycling tip, it is massive. All I would say is put down a sheet or some plastic so you don't get the carpets, the back of the seats dirty. It is a massive car. What else can I tell you about it? Modern things on it, cup holder, switch the passenger airbag off, demisters, electric mirrors with the indicators built inside them, anti-lock braking system, disc brakes all round. The lights are still beautiful and bright. The indicators, the side lights, the lamps, the headlights, they're still bright, even after nearly 13 years. And when I bought this car, I got it cheap because it was having a little bit of trouble starting. It's a diesel. So I put some diesel flush into the fuel tank, left it in there for a couple of days, took it a good drive, and now watch it go. 40, 50, 60, 70, fourth gear, 80, 90, 95, I'm going to slow down now, sixth gear, it goes like a flipping rocket, and it feels smooth and safe. Cruise control, there you go, 66 miles per hour, and the onboard computer is telling me we're doing an average of 47 miles per gallon over the last few weeks, but at this present point we're doing about 60 miles per gallon. I'll do more than that, I'll do 70, 75 miles per gallon if you are on a level surface, the level road, and you're just doing about 55, 60 miles an hour. What a car! Really, you know what the mileage on this car is? 249,939 on the original engine. Nearly 250,000 miles this car has done, and it drives almost like new. Now, could you really say that of any other vehicle?